Hello. And welcome to another Animatronic Retrospective. Animatronic Retrospective. I'm Raya, and Animatronic Retrospective is the show where we do a deep dive into one of the many animatronic shows of our past. I did want to address, I had a few people contact me about not being notified about my last video. It's my fault. I purposefully did not publish it to your feeds. In that video, I talk about- what is that? I lost him. I'm gonna have to get a new one. I'm gonna have to watch the video back to see where he ended up, because what the heck? It's a Hotcha patch.
My name is Hotcha.
You've probably seen the Hotcha patches that I made, so if you're interested in supporting the channel at all, you can follow the link below and bring a Hotcha into your home. I'm down one now, so get it while they last. And before we continue with Animatronic Retrospective, I want to give a huge shout out to Lel, the Sergeant Senior expert who has been so helpful and knowledgeable and kind. And you should head over to their second channel where they archive awesome animatronic documentation. They also run the Animatronic Vault Wiki that you should definitely go check out because there's an abundance of information. They are a neat guy. Lel has been so helpful despite being so busy, and I couldn't have made this video without them. So we're going to send positive mental vibrations their way. Are you ready? Check them out. And if any new Sergeant Senior content is found, because it's being found like every day. We are in the modern golden age of finding animatronic stuff. Anyway, if any new Sergeant Senior content's found, they're gonna be the first ones to know about it. So give them a follow and be so very kind to them. Let's get to it. If I act weird in this episode, it's because I am actively losing my mind. We have to hit the lore again. Ready? The rundown. In the 1970s, Disney-esque entertainment animatronic shows were new and cool and the future. Atari thought to bring this automated entertainment into their arcades, along with some good old restaurant sitting, and bam, Chuck E. Cheese. Then, the copycats. So many copycats, which is good because that competition brought us so much joy in the modern day. We're never going to run out of animatronic shows. Today, we are talking about that cookie cutter formula. A beloved copycat, a chain of arcades, pizzas, and an animatronic show meant to rival all the others named Sergeant Senior's Spectacular Star-Studded Circus Pizza Show. Should we just call it Sergeant Senior's? No, I love the full name. Sergeant Senior's Spectacular Star-Studded Circus Pizza Show! Oh, I just love it. There's a reason why it's like that. It's a reference. We'll get to the reference in a jiffy. But first we gotta go on to...
Mr. Tiger, you're wonderful!
Nickels and Dimes Incorporated is a Lewisville, Texas company that runs multiple family entertainment centers, best known for their Tilt or Gold Mine arcades. The company was founded in 1972 by Craig Senior, who I do not have an accurate picture of. My on-running feud with 1980s businessmen persists. Boop. Yoop. Nickels and Dimes Incorporated had hundreds of arcades located all around the United States, including locations in Hawaii and Australia. You thought I was gonna say Alaska, didn't you? Alaska doesn't get anything. I also wanted to mention that Nickels and Dimes Incorporated would open gaming kiosks in Brunswick bowling centers. Ooh, a Brunswick company cameo! It's a small world. By 1981, copycats of Atari creator Nolan Bushnell's Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater were everywhere. Nolan Bushnell created Chuck E. Cheese to be a hub where people could play Atari arcade games. So Craig Senior, president of Nickels and Dimes Incorporated, owner of many arcades, saw himself the latest craze in order to make his company even more successful. He had the power. He had the arcades. Now all he needed was pizza and animatronics. Development of Sergeant Senior's Spectacular Star-Studded Circus Pizza Show began. And so Nickels and Dimes Incorporated contacted Creative Presentations. My consistent headache. I won't get into it in this video, but there's a specific show that this company made that drives me absolutely bonkers with how little I can find about it. There's been many nights where I look outside the window and, oh, look at that, the sun's coming up, and I still haven't found anything. It's a video for another day. That white whale. Excuse me. Creative Presentations was an Illinois-based electronic performer company. Animatronic. It was founded in 1968 by Gene Bullard. My man Gene. There he is. He puts his picture online. Unlike some people. My man Gene Bullard. Creative Presentations went on to do shows for the Celebration Station, the St. Louis River Review, the Apologies, or the infamous Ghost Town in the Sky Animatronics. That's them. That's all them. They also did well-known retrofits like the Yogi Bear stage for Showbiz Pizza Place and early concept unification. Get a shiver? The first time I watched that video, it was the middle of the night and I was all alone and all the lights were off and I'm just sitting there in the dark watching this corporate instruction video. The analog horror trend that took off just a couple of years later has the same uncomfortable level as that video did for me the first time I watched it. I don't mean to be going off on a rant without like context for people who aren't in the community. That'd actually be a super fun reaction video for me to make because I have not seen it since I first watched it all of those years ago. I bet it would hit me differently now, maybe. I'm just going off on a tangent here because Creative Presentations was not involved in the infamous concept unification video. I didn't mean to lead you astray. They were involved in early concept unification when Showbiz Pizza were still kind of juggling things around. Creative Presentations provided the first cosmetics used in the prototype stage, which would be this prototype stage here, and not the final ones seen in the concept unification video. Sorry, I just go off on tangents, and now I'm thinking about concept unification and how I kind of want to watch it. Anyway, tangent over. This company provided Craig Singer and Nickels and Dimes Incorporated their new animatronic pizza arcade awesome family entertainment center show. In February of 1982, Craig Singer obtained space for Sergeant Singer's spectacular star-studded circus pizza show in the Pasadena Town Square Mall, Texas. Pasadena, Texas. I was like, whoa, I can go visit there. And no, I can't. It's not Pasadena, California. It's Pasadena, Texas. You can't name a town Pasadena if there's already another Pasadena. There's not just 2 Pasadenas, there's like 4. Why are there so many? Personally, I think in the United States, we shouldn't be allowed to name cities the same thing. It should be like racehorses. Racehorses, they know what's up. Racehorses have the coolest, goofiest names. And I think that's what America needs right now. Goofier town names. The Pasadena Town Square Retail Mall in Texas opened the first week of March of 1982. And March 4th of 1982, the first location of Sergeant Singer's followed. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean the first location of Sergeant Singer's spectacular star-studded circus.
Lifelike, that's the secret of animatronics.
This, with no full images of the stage or any video, is Sergeant Singer's spectacular star-studded circus pizza show. First, in center stage, we have... Am I pointing at him? Do you know what this tiger's name is? That's right! Sergeant Singer! Obviously named after Craig Singer, he is the leader of the Circus band. I do apologize for using a Gen 2 picture of him. It's just such a nice picture. The first image I ever saw of Sergeant Singer was the drawing, and I was really excited because I thought he had little stars on the tips of his ears. But no, that's the background. I just can't get over how adorable that design element would have been. Little stars on the tips of his ears, of his little tiger ears. Next we have P.T. Barnum. This is our keyboardist bear, named after P.T. Barnum, a controversial circus runner, businessman, and politician. I love P.T. Barnum's Gen 1 design. He is so cute, but I'm not a fan of his Gen 2 because he doesn't look like a bear to me. The Gen 2 is what I saw first, and I didn't clock that he was a bear. I thought maybe he was like a hedgehog or a dog, or just like a creature. Something about him just does not read bear to me. But this picture here, that reads bear. Next we have Pounce the Lion, a lion who piddles on the electric guitar. Named after controversial Spanish conquistador Juan Ponce de Leon. Why? I understand P.T. Barnum's name. P.T. Barnum is a very famous circus man, but naming your goofy character lion after a man who enslaved and murdered indigenous populations? I don't see the thought logic. It's a little out there. On a lighter note, you may have already noticed that their outfits and Sergeant Sinner's name is a reference to the Beatles era of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, a very culturally influential album, also a very long name, so you can see a lot of influence when it comes to these three characters up here. On stage left, we have Pete. Hark and behold, the only known picture of Pete the elephant. He is in the outfit of a circus clown to match the circus theme. And to complete the duo, we have Repeat, who we have no known images of. The image that I use here is of Mortimer D. Mouse. No, not that Mortimer. This Mortimer. This Mortimer D. Mouse. Repeat is an earlier version of the pictured Mortimer D. Mouse. Creative Presentations' Pete and Repeat are not to be confused with Creative Engineering's Pete and Repeat. Yes, there are two sets of animatronics called Pete and Repeat, and yes, it's by companies that have very similar names, and no, I don't know why, because I don't think the pun is that funny. I don't even know if it is a pun. And finally, on stage right, we have Dolly Porker, documented as a picky pig who sang Dolly Parton songs. As you can see, we don't have any pictures or videos of her either, but we do have an image of her Gen 2 design. Keep in mind this pictured character's pose, styling, and outfit is not accurate to what Sergeant Sinner's Dolly Porker was. It was said that the original Dolly Porker had a huge blonde hair, like Dolly, was wearing maybe a pink dress, and was on a porch swing. Very country bear of them. If I'm being honest, my descriptions feel very bare when it comes to describing the original show. I can't describe the characters' dynamics, or their voices, or really anything about the show. No true footage of Sergeant Sinner's has yet surfaced. Any footage are all actually of Creative Presentations' Gen 2 show variants, after the original Sergeant Sinner stopped expanding. Spoiler. So, most people are familiar with Gen 2's look and with the characters' shaved faces, a design element I make fun of constantly. I just don't understand. They're animals. Restoration would be easy, because if you just have the latex mold, you can just keep replacing it, and the mask is what moves a lot. And then you don't have to put fur on it. I get that. So it's the cheaper option, you say. We will get deeper into Gen 2's show elements in Part 5. And I recommend checking out Part 5. It's a lot, and there's a lot of animatronics in that section as well. But right now, I really want us to be focusing on Gen 1 of Sergeant Sinner's Spectacular Star-Studded. So I will repeat, this is a Gen 2, these are Gen 1s, this is Gen 1, and these are Gen 2. It's such a nice picture of him. I shouldn't have used it though, I should have found a different one. But he looks so happy. Watch out, she has a knife! Now usually in animatronic retrospective, I like to have an entire part dedicated to the music, to the show, to the running gags. But just like in Captain Andy, where I could not have this section, in this video I also unfortunately cannot add this section due to the fact that we don't have any audio of the show. Yet. We don't have it yet. We're at least gonna get a little clip one day, I just know it. That being said, I did make a known song list. Even in Captain Andy, I had a known song list, but in this video, it's gonna be even more sparse. We know for certain that 9 to 5, a cover of the Dolly Parton song, was sang by Dolly Porker. And that's it. It is possible that later Creative Presentation shows do feature song segments that were in the original Sergeant Sinner's, we just don't know for sure. Due to the Beatle influence of Sergeant Sinner's, I would eat Hacha if they didn't do Beatle covers. Anyone orders a Hacha and has a tiny hole at the top, it's because he was in the video. Map time, map time. I always make a map. Nickels and Dimes Incorporated was based in Texas, so that was where the first two Sergeant Sinner locations opened in 1982. Most, if not all of these locations, were in places that Nickels and Dimes Incorporated already ran their arcades. The first one was in Pasadena, the second in Houston's Galleria Mall. An Atlanta location was planned, and this was the third restaurant opened, likely in Decanto, Georgia. By 1983, another opened in Texas, and then another followed followed in Miami, Florida. Something else about Miami's location is it was constantly referred to as Sergeant Sanders' Kittyland and seemed to be featured in a larger entertainment complex. Other locations are speculated but unconfirmed, though we do know the chain stayed regional. Something interesting about these locations as well is not every Sergeant Sanders had a Sergeant Sander. We'll get to that in part 5. Oh, let's put it right here. Pretty good, huh? Map time, map time. Opening only a handful of locations, the Sergeant Sander chain did well, open to all sorts of performances and conventions and parties and memories. Elephants! Something about Sergeant Sanders is it wasn't top of the art. Wait, no, that's not the same. Top of the art. It wasn't state of the art. It wasn't top quality. It wasn't top of the art. Okay. You'll notice there wasn't a lot of branded merchandise for the chain, like the party hats. Basic. The only branded thing I could find was a t-shirt. Give me that shirt. And the chain being considered a cheaper version of Showbiz Pizza or Pizza Time Theater is commonplace. Personally, I'm always going to be honest when I think animatronics don't look their best. Sergeant Sander's head is so big and his torso is so small, and then his crotch is like punching up there with his legs. I think he looks better in some images than others. And of course, we're finally at the point in the video where our chains of family entertainment centers in the form of arcade, pizza, animatronic show spectaculars eventually fell. Oversaturation of the market tends to do that. Nickels and Dimes Incorporated continued to operate in open arcades, but not arcades with a show and pizza involved. By late 1988, Nickels and Dimes Incorporated stopped putting any effort into Sergeant Sanders. All new developments for the chain completely halted, letting the last of the stores slowly pitter and wheeze away until the last location in Decatur, Georgia closed in 1991. And that's the end of Sergeant Sanders. Now it's gone. They're out of the story. While Nickels and Dimes Incorporated moved on to running their arcades, this left a very important question. So many more stores were planned, which means Creative Presentations was left with an excess stock. What is Creative Presentations going to do with the stock of animatronics that they have left? I wonder what they're gonna do with them. What are they gonna do with all these animatronics? Creative Presentations had many Sergeant Sander shows left in stock. So to sell them off, they had to be rebranded. And this finally brings us to discussing in deeper detail Gen 2. Every animatronic in the band went under some kind of change. Not only do they all look different because now they have the shaved faces going on, but they went under changes involving names, genders, entire personas. And then they were taken and mismatched with a variety of Creative Presentations to other shows. And so, the renamed Sergeant Striper was born. The center stage was taken and was called Sergeant Striper's Review. It's a very clever name change because Striper can mean military personnel, and he's a sergeant, and he's also a tiger, so he's striped. I thought it was really clever. Creative Presentations added the option for theming as well. Instead of the original circus theme, you could choose between beach or western. So it is Sergeant Striper, not Sander, who we have footage of. Creative Presentations sold the center stage version, Sergeant Striper's Review, featuring the lion, bear, and tiger. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Lions and tigers and bears! I just got that! Oh, I can't believe I almost missed a Wizard of Oz reference. I really wish I could do a Dorothy Gale accent, and I can't. It is so specific, and it's one of those things that I can't do no matter how many times I try. But I can say electronimation now, so maybe one day. 3 of these stages in their 3 different variations was bought by Okamoto Amusements in Japan. Pictures of 2 of these sets have resurfaced, and what happened to his eyes? It took me an embarrassing long time to realize it's his ears fallen down over his eyes, and it looks... I see it in my dreams that night. Wool eyes. I don't have Japan on my map. Japan. 2 of the 3 shows were recently sold, and their current whereabouts are unknown. As of recording, the last remaining show is still in the possession of Okamoto Amusements. Idlewild Park in Ligonier, Pennsylvania, which is right here, bought a center stage as well and called it Sergeant Striper's Touring Band. They did not tour. In this show, P.T. Barnum's name was changed to Libby Barazzi. Oh, Libby Barazzi. That's so cute. I can't say it very well though. Libby Barazzi. That's cute. Okay. And Pounce D. Lion's name was thankfully changed as well to Richard D. Lionheart, which is a way better person to be named after. Actually, I guess he killed a bunch of people too. Their nationalities and accents reflect this change accordingly. Luckily, we have full footage of Sergeant Striper's touring band. If you want to take a look at that video, I'll link it down below. Just keep in mind that it's not Sergeant Sinner's, it's Sergeant Striper's touring band, which is a very specific show. The whereabouts of these animatronics are unknown. Look at that, I made a tag for it and I completely forgot. It's technically its own show, but it's also like a spin-off of the Sergeant Striper's review. It's the same, but it's not. I must have been going really hard because my earring flipped around. I don't know when that happened. It must have been, I must have been really feeling it. A Sergeant Sinner-Striper animatronic was placed in the infamous Miraculous theme park in Val-d'Oise, France. He took center stage alongside a panda and a lady lion animal on the key. She looks familiar. Ah, okay. The panda is Big Bear and the lady is Priscilla Purr from the Pantones. A really adorable creative presentation show featured in celebration stations. I love when shows stack on top of each other. Look at the stacked show. Is that not super fun to look at? It's vertical. This bizarre combination of Big Bear, Priscilla Purr, and Sergeant Striper is foreshadowing to the rest of the section. We're gonna get into some combinations. Look, I drew a little Priscilla Purr and a Big Bear. I forgot to hang up the Pantone sign. Just ignore it when it flashes up on screen randomly. The whereabouts of these animatronics are also unknown. Now back to Mirapolis. Every time I see this architectural beauty, I wish I could live in it. What a fantastic house a giant man would be. Watching him be destroyed is utter devastation. If you haven't watched one of the many documentaries about Mirapolis, do it. It was a complete and pleasant surprise to find out that Sergeant Striper was at this park. I was like, ooh, I get to talk about Mirapolis. I get to talk about my dream building. A giant man drinking wine? Well, Sergeant Sinner apparently could be found all over the world. But what about Pete and Repeat's stage? Or what about Dolly Porker's? Gen 2 of Dolly Porker, who was a brunette sitting on a piano, was used in the Country Critter Jamboree, alongside a P.T. Barnum. The Country Critter Jamboree combined a lot of different creative presentation shows, so I'm gonna tell you. First, let's talk about Bob Wire. I drew the Gen 2 version of him because even though I don't prefer anyone's Gen 2, I preferred Bob Wire's Gen 2. I think he just looks scrappy and weird. I would have adored this character as a kid. I would have been like, that's the best one. So Bob Wire was featured in 2 shows. He was featured in Bob Wire and the Boys, and he was featured in the Country Critter Review, not Jamboree, the Review. In the Country Critter Jamboree, both of Bob Wire's shows were present, which meant that the Jamboree had his boys. There's his boys. And then from Country Critter Review, we had Lester and the Mule, and we had Trail Dust the Bull. Actually, he's a steer, but a steer is just a castrated bull, and I thought that was a little too personal. I guess people did used to go by the eunuch, so. Trail Dust also has a vocal chicken who I forgot to draw. I forgot about her. My bad. And then we had one monkey from the Apologies. It looks like a, Putnam to me? Yeah, that's not confusing. Forgot to hang up the Pantone sign. Yeah, the Country Critter Jamboree here was very cool. It had 2 revolving stages on stage right and stage left. The Country Critter Jamboree was placed in Tommy Bartlett's Robot Museum in the Wisconsin Dells, seemingly removed within the year. I have a bone to pick with Tommy's because it used to be weird until they removed all of the robots. They removed the robots from the Robot Museum. Okay. The Country Critter Jamboree was also placed in Ghost Town in the Sky, North Carolina, a cowboy amusement park on a hill. Because there were so many of those. The animatronics were just sitting there after the park closed, and then urban explorers found them and proceeded to utterly destroy them. Somebody ripped off and stole their heads. Their heads? They are headless! It really sucks because there aren't many creative presentation animatronics left. The show has no chance of ever being whole again. It will never be refurbished or collected. I was genuinely distressed when this happened because they found them and I was, oh no. And then sure enough, they were gone. That was a few years ago now. Let me actually rephrase my sentence earlier because urban explorers do not vandalize things. The entire point is you are exploring and seeing untouched environments. And if you start touching and taking stuff, then it's touched by humans. It destroys the space. This is why urban explorers don't mention where they go and where they are in footage anymore. And if you ask an urban explorer where they are, they're not going to tell you. Once they reveal a location, it completely ruins it for the entire community. There are rules. You do not take things. You do not touch things. You do not disturb This is a rant for another day. I am so sorry. Ghost Town in the Sky. There it is. Let's move on to Gen 2 Pete and Repeat, renamed Patty the Piano Playing Pachyderm, and previously mentioned Mortimer the Mouse, the ultimate duo. Patty performs while Mortimer is a bit of a heckler. We don't know what Pete and Repeat's dynamic was, but I do wonder if it was any way similar. The elephant and mouse duo were found in Creative Presentations' Animal Crackers package, which is a perfect name. A perfect name. The Animal Crackers. That is so cute! Animal crackers in my soup. I apologize to anyone my age who had to listen to that commercial. The Animal Crackers package consisted of multiple creative presentation shows. Alongside Patty and Mortimer, the Animal Cracker package also included Bob Wire and the Boys, and they were on stage right, and then we had in center stage the Apologies. And not just Putnam, of course, but Albert and Ellsworth as well. And then we get back to a point that I made earlier about how not every Sergeant Sainer's location had a Sergeant Sainer. It was reported that the Animal Crackers were installed inside Decatur, Georgia, replacing Sergeant Sainer's and his friends sometime before 1985. That's right, a Sergeant Sainer's location without Sergeant Sainer's. That is at least for a few years until the Tiger and his regulars returned. Now you may ask why. We don't know. We just know it happened. You can find an Animal Crackers band up in Castle Fun Park, Canada. Right about here. And this show is under the name The Jungle Jamboree. Oh, let me just pop it right there. The Jungle Jamboree is in rough condition, but with Creative Presentations defunct, they are the last of their kind. Rarities. Some of the only Creative Presentation bots still performing to this day. Oh no. They were damaged by flood and uninstalled. For restoration! While I was working on the script, they were still at Castle Fun Park and they were just damaged, and then they uninstalled them and I was like, the video's gonna take a turn for the worst. I always have to end these videos like, they died. But then I came across the GoFundMe yesterday when it went live. Oh, there they are. Found them. So not only were they bought by animatronic enthusiasts, they were bought by animatronic enthusiasts who want to restore them and put them back out into the public, installed in a new venue. How exciting is that? If you are at all interested, research and check the project out. I will definitely be following it. This is the last show by the defunct Creative Presentations that was still running. I was like, Did I mention that Creative Presentations is defunct? I think I should mention that. Creative Presentations made this big move from their headquarters in Illinois to California. In their later years, they leaned away from animatronic shows and into more realistic installations. As I mentioned earlier, Showbiz Pizza Place contacted Creative Presentations in order to do the really early drafts of concept unification. This was to make all of their stores the same, because at that moment they had Chuck E. Cheese and they had the Rock-afire Explosion, so depending on what store you went to, you would get different stuff, and they wanted it all to be the same. In the documents with the different ideas on what to do with their shows, there's a very familiar tiger in there. No star ears though. I'm just saying, if they added little stars on his ears, it would be peak design. It was by 1997 that Creative Presentations was slowing down. When Showbiz Pizza wanted a new Chuck E. Cheese show, they reached out to Gene Bullard, who passed on the project and actually sent them to Gardner Holt. He's not important to the story, but I'm gonna need this picture later, so I just got it done. Gardner Holt. He's not important to the story. Personally, it's my opinion that Creative Presentations didn't slow down because they ran out of work. It really seemed like companies liked going to them and liked working with them. They were able to change with the times after the animatronic show kind of fell out of favor. And I do think they slowed down because Gene Bullard probably wanted to retire. And where does that leave Sergeant Singer? Where does that leave Sergeant Striper? Well, in the past, I guess. I'm sure the moment I post this, some grand revelation about Sergeant Singers is gonna drop. So, you're welcome. Sometimes I've forced the universe's hand. I know I kind of dissed Sergeant Singer's proportions earlier, but I do think he's very cute. I love how, like, he's just got a big, like, snout, and all he needs are little star ears. Then he would be perfect. Please look at the description below. I'll have updates on this topic and all of the links, and you can get Hacha there. Bring him out of my home and into yours. Go subscribe to Lel, and the restoration of the Animal Crackers, aka the Jungle Jamboree, will also be down there. I'm a skeptic when it comes to finding or creating new venues to display animatronics. In this economy, allow me to send hope via brainwaves. You ready? They started uploading master tapes on their YouTube channel, so go give them a listen. Hopefully by the time I cover the Animal Crackers, I'll actually be able to, like, see them. That being said, please do not spam or demand things from the people involved in the restoration of the Animal Crackers - Jungle Jamboree. The animatronic community tends to be very passionate. Feral. I haven't had to deal with any of that. Everyone on my channel has been super kind and excited about animatronics. We all deserve star ears. I'm Raya. Thanks for watching. Consider hanging around and checking out my other videos, my other projects. I do a lot of stuff. I've been nuts busy this year so far, so if I take a lot of time to respond to you on any social media platform, like, I just found out that people can mention me on YouTube. I didn't realize people were doing that. I'm on a different planet sometimes. So if I take time responding to you on, like, any platform, it's just because I'm me.